Hey there, fellow citizens. Tonight we're diving into the wild world of constitutional law. Buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Constitutional law is basically the rule book for how a country is run. It's the set of fundamental principles that dictate how the government works and what rights citizens have. Think of it as the terms and conditions we all agreed to, even though none of us actually read the fine print. Now, you might be thinking, John, this sounds drier than a mouthful of sawdust, but trust me, this stuff matters. Understanding constitutional law helps us hold our leaders accountable, protect our freedoms, and avoid living in a dystopian nightmare. Okay, maybe that last one is a bit dramatic, but you get the point. So whether you're a legal eagle or just a concerned citizen, join me as we unravel the mysteries of constitutional law. Because when it comes to our rights, ignorance is not bliss. It's a one-way ticket to Oppressionville, and nobody wants to live there. All right, let's talk about constitutions. Some countries, like the United States, have a single written document that outlines their fundamental laws. It's like a rule book for their democracy, except it's really old and hard to change. Then there are countries like the United Kingdom, which have an unwritten constitution. Now, before you picture a bunch of judges frantically scribbling down laws on cocktail napkins, let me explain. An unwritten constitution means that the rules are scattered across various documents, laws and traditions. It's like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. Messy, confusing, and you're never quite sure if you did it right. So, which system is better? Well, a written constitution offers clarity and stability. It's harder to change, which protects fundamental rights from the whims of politicians. An unwritten constitution, on the other hand, is more flexible and can adapt to changing circumstances. Now, let's break down the main sources of constitutional law: statutes, judicial decisions, customs, and conventions. Think of them as the four horsemen of the constitutional apocalypse, but instead of bringing the end of the world, they just determine how your country is run. First up, statutes. These are laws passed by legislatures like Congress or Parliament. They cover a wide range of issues, from taxes to traffic violations, and can impact constitutional rights. Then there are judicial decisions, which are basically rulings made by courts. These decisions interpret the Constitution and set precedents for future cases. Think of them as the legal equivalent of a really persuasive Yelp review. Next, we have customs. These are long-established practices that have become so ingrained in a society that they're considered binding. It's like that friend who always orders pizza on Friday nights. You don't question it, you just accept it. Finally, we have conventions, which are unwritten rules and practices that dictate how political institutions operate. They're like the unspoken rules of a dinner party. Don't talk about politics, don't hog the mashed potatoes, and for God's sake, don't bring up the Constitution. Each of these sources has its own set of advantages and disadvantages. Statutes are democratic and can be changed relatively easily. However, they can also be used to erode fundamental rights if not carefully crafted. Judicial decisions provide clarity and consistency, but they can also be slow and undemocratic. Customs offer stability and reflect the values of the society, but they can also be outdated and difficult to change. Finally, conventions provide flexibility and allow for the smooth functioning of government, but they can also be vague and open to abuse. So, there you have it. A crash course in the foundations of constitutional law. It's a complex and ever-evolving field, but understanding the basics is crucial for anyone who cares about democracy, justice, and the future of their country.